I want to talk about acting in accordance with what is unfolding in our lives. And this is kind of a continuation of last week. Last week I was contrasting between willful creation and collaborative creation. Willful creations where we kind of make something happen. We kind of force something into existence, and it's kind of based on Protestant work ethic, and we work hard and we make it happen. And that can be a valuable way of creating things. Now, last week I spoke about some of the advantages of collaborative creation. And in collaborative creation, we offer an intention. We decide what we want to create. We offer that intention. And when we do that, it creates a partnership with spirit, with the universe. And then then we collaboratively unfold the thing that we want to create. And we are responsible for some things, and spirit takes care of other things. And it's this dance of unfoldment, this dance of creating the thing that we want. And so I want to talk today a little bit about one of the challenges that comes up. So after the overall challenge of collaborative creation is seeing the thing that's being created, is seeing the doorway that opens, and getting in touch with how spirit is unfolding the thing, and then we can act in collaboration with that. So there's this phase that often happens, at least with me and with my clients, is that after we offer the intention, okay, so offering the intention energetically creates and initiates the thing. It gets created at the energetic level, okay, but it still has no form, okay, so it isn't like recognizable in our 3D life. It exists, it exists, you could say, in the quantum field. It exists at the energy level, and because we've offered the intention, the universe is already helping to unfold this thing. But there's this period of time when it doesn't have form, and it's difficult to recognize that anything is happening. And so there's a tendency to believe, after some time goes by, that nothing is happening. And we say to ourselves, well, it's not working, or I mustn't have done it right. So therefore, what do we tend to do? Is then we start reverting into more of a willful creation. It's like, well, nothing's happening, so I better make this thing happen. I better start, pushing this thing a little bit so something starts happening. And of course, that kind of leads us in the wrong direction, because what we contrive that needs to happen is often not what is already unfolding. So rather than assuming that nothing is happening, it's a much better practice to kind of feel into what is happening. Okay, now, it may not be that we can really recognize what it's happening, but if we tune into and kind of trust that something is happening, we can start sensing into what is happening. And then the idea is to act in accordance with that. So, see, with willful creation, and when we're acting separate from what is happening, okay, and then so we're often moving in a different direction, and we're separating ourselves from spirit, so we can't sense, and we often miss the thing that the doorway that actually opens. Okay, so what we can do then is, first of all, choose to trust that something is happening, not doubt that nothing's happening. So I'm going to trust that something is happening, and then we're going to start sensing into what is happening. And it can begin with an inquiry. I wonder what is happening. I put out this intention, and I haven't really noticed anything yet. I wonder what is happening. It's trusting that something is happening. So, Spirit, what is happening? We could do a meditation, we can do an inquiry, and we can also kind of review, like, what are some of the things that have happened this week? And I wonder if any of those things that have happened this week might have been, a movement in the direction of the thing that we might want to unfold. So it's kind of reviewing what's been coming to me, what doorways have been opening to me, okay, and what has been coming to me, and then just figured, okay, well, it seems like it may not be directly related, but this thing's unfolding, or maybe something's unfolding, but it's just not happening fast enough. Okay, that's another thing that happens, rather than this doubting that anything's going on, is something's unfolding, but it's not happening fast enough. It's like, I want this thing, and it's like, it seems like it's moving at a glacial pace, and so let's review. So what is happening? Okay, and what do I sense is happening? And what does meditation and inquiry tell me is happening? What do my guides tell me is happening, or whatever variation of this that you practice? And then to start just noticing what is happening, okay? And then to act in conjunction with that. So like, if this is happening and this is starting to happen, then what makes sense for me to take action with? What is the appropriateness of the situation? Like, what do I need to do? If this is happening, how can I act in conjunction with that? And then my action is based in what is happening, and it's based in what the universe is already unfolding. So when we offer the intention, it already is unfolding. It's just like, so we need to sense into that, notice what is already unfolding, become aware of, even if we get a glimpse of what it feels like is already unfolding, and then let's act into that. Another way I've talked about this is when a doorway opens, we step into the doorway. It's the same idea, different way of viewing it, which is kind of what I'm doing today, is giving you a different way to view it. Doorway opens, we step into the doorway. Okay, we sense what is happening, trusting that something is happening, rather than nothing's happening or not happening fast enough. And then we take action in accordance with what is happening. And is in a what makes sense. If this is happening, what does it make sense for me to do next? Okay, and then it starts building some momentum. A little more happens, and then we take action again. And it's this back and forth that happens. Like I talked about it in my book. Doorway opens, we step into the doorway. Another doorway opens, we step into the doorway. Spirit does something, we do something. Spirit does something, we do something. Same thing in this format that I'm talking about now. This view or perspective is, we sense something is happening and we take action. Okay, and then we sense something else, there's another outcome, there's more that's happening, and we take action according to that. And then, so then we're heading in the same direction. We're aligned with the natural creation, the collaborative creation that is already happening. It's a little arrogant to think that we need to create something on our own without spirit. I mean, I've done it myself. I'm not saying, I'm an arrogant person, but the notion that I have to do everything is maybe you don't want to call it. It's just not accurate. It's not true. The reality is that we create an intention, so something is happening. Let's find out what that is the best we can, and then act in conjunction with that. So that's just a different way of looking at it that made sense to me. Hopefully it makes sense to you as well. So that is my video for this week. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great week, and maybe just sense a little bit what is happening with your intention, and sense into that. Maybe do some journaling, and then then just consider, well, what makes sense? What does it make sense to take action with in accordance with what is already happening? And I will see you in a week.